Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back into the Fake Spike Podcast with Tyler and Cole.
What's going on, you
What you
beautiful
got going on?
motherfuckers?
Whoa, that's aggressive.
Sorry.
So, what do we got going on today, Mr. T?
Got a couple of topics.
Where's your night elf mohawk?
What?
Sorry. Mr. T and his night elf mohawk.
Yes, sir.
What's
Got
on
a
the
couple
board?
of topics. We got our recaps, obviously, from the past week, minus the San Fran game that is playing the night that we're recording this. And then we have the couple of topics include the Chiefs Chargers game, the Zach Wilson. I can't remember what team he's on right now. I literally just looked at it. What's that?
The Jets, buddy. The Jets.
Dude, it's been such a long day. I just looked at that shit. So Zach Wilson, and then a couple other things that we're going to talk about throughout the night or throughout the podcast. So what do you want to start with? You want to start with recaps?
Sure. Let's go with that. You all right, buddy?
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. That's why I got the bottle of water. Might be dying.
All right. Well, I'd like to start out by saying I think the Packers season is over. What do you think?
Green Bay Packers. Who did they lose? Well, yeah, they lost. But who did they lose to?
They lost to the Titans on Thursday night.
Okay, so the Packers lost to the Titans on Thursday night. What pray tell makes you think that? Just out of curiosity. The Titans are one of the best teams in the league. Yeah, we get that. Packers are doing pretty shitty. Why can't I remember the division they're in?
Packers?
Yeah.
They are in the NFC North, buddy.
Thank you. I'm trying to. Oh, they're shot. They got the Vikings. Yeah, they're done.
They're 4-7.
Yeah. I knew the record. I just couldn't remember who they were competing with.
Right. Yeah, they're 4-7. The Vikings have 4 games on them already, and we'll get into the Vikings in a second because holy crap, was that a bad game?
Shout out Tony Pollard.
Anyway, yeah, Aaron Rodgers did not look good in that game. He missed some basic throws that a couple years ago he could have made in his sleep and just airmailed some wide receivers.
Do you think he's declined that much in the last couple of years?
I just don't think he cares. And it doesn't seem like he's doing too hot with the cold weather games anymore.
Well, that happens when you get a little bit older.
Right. I believe he's 39.
39, bro should be retired. That's quite a few years there, buddy.
Everybody's trying to be like Tom now.
That's such a bad idea.
Yeah, him and his 45-year-old. Yeah.
He can play for a few more years now. Divorced. He's probably got a couple years back of his life.
38, my bad.
Yeah, but that's old, especially when you're getting the shit kicked out of you on a weekly basis. You know what I mean?
He'll be 39 in 2 weeks. Anyway.
Let's just say he gets sacked twice a week, right?
Right.
17 weeks. He's played what? 10 plus seasons easily. I don't know the exact number.
He's been starting since 2008, I believe.
Okay, so for the last 14 years, he's gotten sacked twice a week for 17 weeks a year by 350-pound grown men. Dude, your body just gets the shit like you get the shit kicked out of you repeatedly. It's a tough sport to play, and I think that age you should probably hang up the cleats.
That must be good. Oh, okay. I was looking up a stat. He's been sacked 21 times this year.
Oh, he's definitely getting the shit kicked out of him then, bud.
I don't think he really cares anymore. And it's not like they can trade him either. His contract is worth like $50 million a season. Nobody's got that kind of cap space.
No, and not for somebody on the decline.
Right. Speaking of bad cap decisions, Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson does not look great, Bob.
Bob.
It's a reference. Anyway.
I figured. Sorry.
Yeah, Russell Wilson isn't having a good year either, and I could definitely see his quarterback, his head coach getting fired soon. I mean, I know they won this past week, but that team does not look like they were supposed to look.
There's a lot of firings going on this year. I think it's about average.
I'd say it's about average.
Okay, I'll take your word for it.
Um, but yeah, back into the NFC
Recap.
North.
Oh, North. Okay, cool.
Back to the NFC North. We had the Vikings and the Cowboys.
Yes, the Vikings got their asshole stomped out by a bunch of grown men in Dixie shorts. It was rough.
Well, that's one way to say it. What was the final score of that game? 40-3. Like, I don't even know what happened. I know I was happy because my opponent in fantasy had Kirk Cousins, but
I was happy because my flex was Tony Pollard, so I was loving it.
um, I'm trying to look up Kirk Cousins' stats from that game, and it's just giving me like, all right, let's see here. There we
Kirk
are.
Cousins, right?
Right. Had 105 yards passing, 0 touchdowns, 0 interceptions.
So not doing too hot.
No, not hot at all. That's a bad game for him. I don't even like. I missed most of that game. It was my anniversary yesterday, so
Happy anniversary, by the way.
thank you. I missed about half of the 1 o'clock games. Got home around the middle of the third quarter for most of them.
I was looking. There weren't a whole lot of other players that did anything productive on that team either.
Yeah, I was guessing not, seeing as they put up 3 points. Yeah,
That's tough, you know.
The Vikings have looked really good this season. I think they've gotten lucky quite a few times. That was a rather ugly looking game, but I'm pretty sure they're still going to win the NFC North. But I could definitely see them going one and done in the playoffs.
Yeah. So I want to throw this out there. Nick Mullins, the backup quarterback for Kirk Cousins.
Right.
It's a very small sample size, and I understand that. 5 for 7 on catches for attempts for 54 yards. Kirk Cousins, 12 for 23.
That is what we call garbage time, my good friend.
I understand, and that's what I mean. It's small sample size. But looking statistically speaking, Nick Mullinson, I think Nick Mullins. I think I just fucked his name up twice. I think I said Nick Mullins the first time, and I don't know why I decided it was Nick Mullinson the second time. 5 for 7, 54 yards. Kirk Cousins, 12 for 23 for 105 yards. I get small sample size. I get garbage time, but I thought that was an interesting statistic there.
The Cowboys defense is pretty good, but that's a really bad game.
Yes.
And speaking of really bad games, there was that Zach Wilson game against the Patriots.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure he had, I don't remember if it was just him or if it was the entire offense, but somebody only had 2 offensive yards in the entire second half of the game.
That's gonna be tough for me to find statistically wise.
Right, just check out Jets Patriots quarter breakdown. But yeah, so the defense held up really well. I know the Patriots offense is not a juggernaut or anything by any means, but they held them to 3 points and then they gave up a touchdown at the end on a kick return. So that's just very unfortunate for the Jets defense that the offense couldn't muster something up. And at one point I seen a play that the guy Zach Wilson goes through his reads and there's a guy standing over to his left behind the line of scrimmage, wide open. He turns, he rifles the ball that way, probably 7 feet over this kid's head. I'm like, you would have had at least 8 yards off that play, but completely missed him.
Just messed it all up.
Do you have any stats from the?
It wasn't so. It had to be a single individual because when I was scrolling through the by quarter breakdown plays, the plays
Right.
by quarter breakdown, there were a couple in there for 6 and 8 yards. Now maybe the total yards calculated, I understand is even if it's like you get taken back a couple yards, that is taken out of it, obviously. But from the looks of it, it had to be one person. I'm not quite sure where that individual was, but I
pretty confident it was Zach Wilson. And after that game, I don't know about you, but if I'm not one that thinks you need to lie to the media to look good or anything, but I don't know how you cannot say you let down your defense.
that's a tough one. You told me that, and that's
right.
That's tough to because you don't want to feel that that way, right? As a player. But you gotta be honest too. You kind of suck dick.
It can't be somebody else. It can't always be somebody else's fault. And when you have more punts than you have completions, there's a problem there, man. And but yeah, I'm not a big fan of Zach Wilson going, no, I didn't let down the defense. That's not my fault. Because now I'm not saying this just because I'm a Steelers fan. And honestly, I'm not that big of a Kenny Pickett fan at this point. I like him because he's on my team, but
that's where that ends.
Definitely wasn't my first choice for quarterback. I would have rather just roll with Mitch all year and draft a quarterback next year. But he's on my team, and I'm not saying this because of that. He said he let down the defense. The defense gave up 37 points in the Steelers game against the Bengals. Bengals are really freaking good, but he said they are the ones that let down the defense. Steelers made some really bad plays on defense and offense, but I'm happy that Kenny Pickett's like, hey, that's my bad. Partially was, partially wasn't.
All right, but even just take control or take blame for a situation that wasn't 100% him is a lot of maturity.
At least I'm pretty sure he had more than 9 completions.
I can find out in a couple of seconds.
Let's see here.
Steelers game. Who'd y'all play?
Cincy.
Thank you.
Yeah, because he had 8 completions to Fryer Muth.
25 of 42.
Yeah, 25 completions. So yeah, did a lot better than Zach Wilson.
Yeah.
So I can't take them seriously off that. Let's see here, other games. Bills Browns game. How about that? Did you see any of that?
I was running around a lot. Like I said, I did get to roll through. Bills did end up winning by 9, but seems like a pretty close game for the majority of the time.
Bills Mafia showed out for that freaking game.
A lot of people.
Dude, that game was in Detroit. Because
Buffalo
had 6 feet of snow.
Oh, yeah. Like, you just had me confused. I was like, nah, I know it was a home game for the Bills. Don't play with me.
Dude, it was so confusing watching Red Zone. Because you got the Bills marching across the Detroit Lions field, and then you got the Lions over here playing the freaking Giants, and I'm like, my brain hurts, man. Yeah, but Bills Mafia showed out for that game. The entire freaking stadium was packed. At least that's what it looked like on TV. I don't know if they had like parts sectioned off that you couldn't see. Yeah, that was really cool to see.
Are there any other topics we have to touch base on? I don't remember.
Let's see here. The Chiefs and Chargers game.
Oh yeah, dude. So Cole reached out to me today. I didn't get a chance to watch the game. To watch the last 4, to just watch the fourth quarter. insane, dude. First off, 2 fumbles back to back, not back to back, but back to back drives. 2 fumbles, crazy. Uh, during one offensive possession, I want to say it was Justin Herbert got his shit swatted by Dikembe Mutombo, like during a a throw, and then the fucking interception at the end. That's kind of just like the icing on the cake, you know.
Right. They needed a miracle to win that anyway. So I mean, yeah, he threw a pick, but they probably weren't winning that game regardless. So Patrick Mahomes, man, Mahomes and Kelsey, freaking deadly. Kelsey had 3 touchdowns in that game and 6 catches.
Insane. One of the best tight ends in the game. That's one of the first things they were teaching me when I went to fantasy this year was Travis Kelsey.
I think Kelsey is the best tight end in the game right now. Mark Andrews is good, but yeah, I'd say Kelsey's probably the best. And I think Kelsey's one of the best all time.
That's a bold statement there, Cotton.
There's Shannon Sharp.
Okay. Shannon Sharp, bless you.
I thought about it for a second. I got under control. Shannon Sharp, Tony Gonzalez.
That's a pretty popular statement.
Yeah. Let's see here. Oh, yeah, that's exactly what I wanted to Google. Appreciate it.
What are you doing over there on your laptop, Cole?
Well, I looked up Travis Kelsey career stats, and they gave me his stats for this year. Like,
that's close enough. How many years has he been playing?
Let's see here. He was drafted in 2013.
It's almost 10 years.
Close to it.
That's pretty close to average for NFL, I think.
There we go. He has 11 touchdowns this year, 9 last year, 11 the year before, 5, 10, 8. Like, this guy's a freaking beast. Here we go. 773 career receptions for 9,861 yards and 68 touchdowns.
Where does that put him all time? Statistically speaking.
That's a good fucking question.
I asked the hard
one. What aspect?
Like podcast.
Yards, touchdowns.
What was that?
Yards, touchdowns.
For my question?
Yeah.
Touchdowns. Do touchdowns, might as well. All-time tight end touchdowns. We asked the hard questions here on the Fake Spike podcast.
All right. But listen, Antonio Gates holds the most. Okay. Anyway, top 6. Let's look at that. See if he's in the top 6. Yeah. The Chargers had another massive falling apart there. Anyway,
couldn't find it.
He is not in the top 6.
All right, well, good enough. He's one of the greatest of all time. That's the point. What else do we have? I think the last thing we have on the docket is recap, right?
I think we went over all the recap, right?
We were mostly just talking about the topics, buddy. I don't think we went the game by game recap like we did last week.
Oh, well. I started out going through the games, and the games turned into the topics, like the Packers. And
once we started talking about the Packers and the Vikings, it just kind of went downhill.
Right. Yeah. So I think let's just finish the Chargers and Chiefs game here.
Yeah.
I think the Chargers definitely need to have their owner wake the hell up and hire a decent head coach, because I don't think Staley's very good, especially when you have to go up against Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes twice a year. Because Sorry to say it, but Travis Kelsey's one of the best tight ends of all time. I think Andy Reid's one of the best coaches, and Mahomes is well on his way of becoming one of the best quarterbacks.
And 8th of the year, you're getting your shit stomped in. You should probably trying to figure out a way to make that not happen.
Right. You know how I said he wasn't in the top 6?
He's number 7.
He actually moved into the top 6 last night. Or not last night. A couple weeks ago.
Top 6 tight end of all time, Travis Kelsey.
Right. And there's Antonio Gates, Tony Gonzalez, Gronk. Gronk was one of the freaking Gronk, in my opinion, is one of the best ever. He just couldn't stay healthy enough. He's still top 3 all time, but
is that a thing where he would have been number 1 if he stayed healthy?
That would have been tough, but probably like he was always hurt. Him and Tom Brady, like nobody could fucking stop him. So here there's Antonio Gates, Gonzalez, Gronk, your boy Jimmy Graham, Jason Witten, Travis Kelsey. Your other boys a little bit down there, Greg Olson.
So Chargers need to get this shit together.
Right. And the funny part about that is Tony Gonzalez and Travis Kelsey, both Chiefs. Anyway.
Maybe they just know what they're doing with a good tight end.
Yeah, apparently. Let's see here. Falcons, Bears, you got anything to say about that game?
Nothing that stands out, buddy.
Yeah, Justin Fields looked like he was hurt a little bit throughout that game. Didn't look like he could run the way he had been the past couple weeks. Hopefully he's all right. Yeah. Let's be honest, neither one of those teams are doing really hot this season.
No. Nothing crazy going on.
Let's see here. We touched on the Jets a little bit. I mentioned how they won the game, how the Patriots won the game.
Yes.
On that punt return. So the hoodie gets another W over the Jets.
Well, I do have something that we could discuss really quickly before we go game by game recap.
What's that?
What the fuck happened to the Eagles?
They won. The Eagles
won. They honestly won, but it was so fucking bad. They won 17-16, okay? 14 of their points fourth quarter. 14.
Dude, that's actually the game I was just about to hit. Yeah, dude, apparently it's the Jeff Saturday effect. The Eagles signed those 2 new guys, Dominic Sue, and I can't think of the other guy's name right now. But I think they need a little bit more time to get adjusted to the defense, and hopefully that'll help stop the run game. Jonathan Taylor looks pretty solid. Yeah, man. And the Eagles figured out how to win that game, but they're really not meant to be. They're really not built to play from behind. They're meant to get a lead early and sit on it.
It just seemed like, from everything I was hearing, it was way harder for the Eagles to do what they needed to do to win the game. Obviously, you can just look at the box score like quarter by quarter and realize that. And I know we talked about a stat earlier on in the year. I forget what episode podcast it was, but we discussed how a lot of the Eagles points were coming in that second, third quarter area. But the fourth quarter, like that's just late, dude. Like, so going into the fourth quarter, they were losing 13-3. So 2 touchdowns. There's zero excuse for a team and they just lost the Commanders last week. There's zero excuse for a team to be what the Eagles are. For that to be the 2 weeks in a row to the Commanders and the Colts at the very least, like.
I don't think AJ Brown was too healthy. What's that?
He was not playing too hot. I don't know what his deal was. I mean, he played well, 5 for 7 receipts for targets. But
I mean, he did get hurt last week at some point early on in the game, so maybe he's dealing with something right now. Jalen Hurts didn't give up, so that's cool to see. A little bit of fight in him to show that, hey, we don't always need to be in the lead for us to win a game.
Yeah.
He finished with 190 yards and 1 touchdown.
Yes, sir.
I know he rushed a little bit too, so it's always good to have that dual threat quarterback that can do something with his legs. Because you're busy guarding guarding the wide receiver, and you turn around and the quarterback's running with the ball.
And Jalen Hurts is a relatively big dude, so you see him. I mean, he's a quarterback, so he can't be small. Like theoretically. I'll get a size. I want to see it somewhere above 6 foot.
I don't think you.
6 foot
He's
625.
I got 6'1".
Oh, you know what? I got 6'1" too, and I still said 6 foot. Like it's on my screen is 6'1". I still said 6 foot.
But don't be talking about you got to be big to be a quarterback. Have you seen Kyler Murray?
You don't have to be big, but in that you got to be tall first off, or in theory you got to be tall, 5'10", something like that. See over the offense.
Seen Kyler Murray. He can't see nothing over that offensive line. He just got to throw the ball up and hope and pray.
Who does he play for?
The Cardinals. He's 5'10".
That's what I thought. So, see, I was right. 5'10", 5'11".
5'10", 207 pounds.
That might be a little heavy for 5'10".
He's a tiny little guy. I mean, a defensive lineman grabs a hold of him and throws him into the ground. That's why he usually trails off later in the year. That and the Call of Duty. But
I want to say during the clip I was watching today, Justin Herbert got caught up by defensive lineman, and like you could see him physically like trying to push to move forward, and he was just stuck there. Those big fucking donut eating motherfuckers is too strong.
Dude, they're like
corn-fed boys.
Dude, defensive linemen are big ass dudes. Like freaking the one Steelers game I went to, one of the players' parking lot. There's some players that park right behind the stadium in a gated area, and there's some that park across the street in a gated area. And this one defensive lineman, he's not a big name, big starter or anything, but he's out there right by the fence signing autographs and shit. And I'm like, dude, freaking brick shit house, man.
There's a lot of people out there built like that, buddy. And they all happen to be a professional football player.
Yeah, right. But yeah. See here. Where were we at anyway?
I think we were getting ready to do game by game recap for scores. I know you and I talked about it before the podcast, but we're live now, baby.
I did not have the scores up. Do you got the scores?
Not the scores, like how we did.
Oh,
our scores.
That okay. Well,
I have the scores. I can pull them if you want them.
All right, I figured out what you meant. Now we were talking through the. I thought we were talking about every single game we were going through. Yeah. So last week you had the Packers. I had the Titans. Give me that dub. You had the Falcons. I had the Bears. You got the dub there. And then we're pretty similar for a while. We both had the Eagles, W, Patriots, W, Commanders, W, Saints, Bills, Ravens.
Saints.
All W's there. We both picked the Giants over the Lions, got a loss. Broncos over the Raiders. Vikings over the Cowboys. And Steelers over the Bengals. I think I was just playing favoritism there. All losses there. Did I say the Broncos won earlier? They did not win.
I'm just starting off by the Vikings loss. That's fucking wild.
And the way they lost too, man. Anyway. And the last one we have the W, Chiefs over the Chargers. Again, the 49ers and Cardinals game is starting in about a half hour. So we don't have anything on that yet.
And so the totals, I think you said were 8-5, was it?
Yep, we're both 8-5.
So one of our worst weeks, or
And
probably our
usually,
worst week, actually, in podcast history. Um,
yeah, usually we're both floating around 10, 11 wins. So, I mean, this is not horrible if the 49ers win tonight, but it is what it is.
so I think that's a good spot for us to kind of call it tonight. Yeah.
Sounds good to me. Why don't you tell them what we got going on Thursday?
All right, so Thursday we're gonna touch on predictions for week 12. It's week 12 now, right?
12, man.
The Monday night is ending week 11. So we got some predictions for Thursday. For week 12. Pretty excited about that. I don't think we've actually talked about anything else we're doing in addition. So we normally just do predictions for week 12. We'll talk a little bit about the Chiefs game tonight. Hopefully the Chiefs, not the Chiefs, 49ers. God damn. The logo on my head is red and I can't remember a thing today.
There's like red team equal chief.
Red teams equal Chief. We'll talk about the 49ers game that happened tonight. We'll talk about that on Thursday. Get into some week 12 predictions and have a lot of fun with that as well.
That's going to be a fun one, man. We got to get that out nice and early on Thursday so people can listen to it before they eat their turkey.
There you go. Yes. And we wish you guys a happy Thanksgiving. With that said, you guys can subscribe to the YouTube channel. We're at 13 subscribers right now, I want to say. If you're listening on audio, give us a 5-star rating anywhere else. We're on TikTok and Instagram as well. Everything is linked down in the description below. That's about it. Hopefully, you guys had a wonderful day. See you guys Thursday. Peace out.
Peace.